Hey, welcome back to the Power of Small Wins. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. And today, we're talking about something that might seem tiny, but actually holds the key to big time success: small wins.
Small wins. Love them. You know, I used to think success was about these giant leaps, like, boom, overnight millionaire. But then I realized, nope, it's all about those tiny steps forward.
Exactly. And we're going to break down why small wins matter, how to build momentum, and real life examples that show how little victories add up to massive results.
So let's start here. Jamie, what's a small win you had this week?
Oh, good question. Okay, so I've been trying to wake up earlier. And instead of forcing myself to wake up at 5 a.m. immediately, I started by setting my alarm just 10 minutes earlier each day. And guess what? It worked.
Yes, that's exactly it. Small, manageable steps that don't feel overwhelming, but get you closer to your goal. Love it.
All right, so let's talk about why small wins matter.
Okay, so psychologically speaking, small wins do something pretty cool to our brains. Every time we accomplish something, no matter how tiny, our brain releases dopamine,
Ooh, brain chemicals. Love this.
right? Dopamine is basically your brain's way of saying, hey, that felt good, let's do more of that. It boosts motivation, confidence, and focus.
And honestly, that's huge because so many people get stuck thinking, ugh, my goal is so far away. I don't even know where to start. But if you focus on one small win at a time, you trick your brain into staying motivated.
Exactly! It's like running a marathon. You don't just think about mile 26. You focus on getting to the next water station.
Love that. Okay, let's move to another biggie: consistency.
Oof. This is where a lot of people struggle. We get excited about a new goal, go all in for like 3 days, and then, poof, motivation gone.
Yep, it's that classic New Year's resolution syndrome.
Exactly. But here's the trick. If you aim for small, consistent wins instead of massive, exhausting efforts, you actually make more progress long term.
100%. Like, take podcasting, for example. When we first started this, we didn't say, let's launch a top 10 podcast in a week. We said, let's record one episode, then another. And now, here we are.
And if we had focused on being perfect from the start, we'd probably still be planning instead of doing.
Exactly. So, for anyone listening, whatever your goal is, don't get caught up in perfection. Just show up, be consistent, and let the wins pile up.
Okay, let's give some real-life examples of how people have used small wins to achieve big things.
Oh, let's talk about James Clear, the guy who wrote Atomic Habits. He talks about the 1% rule, improving just 1% every day.
Yes, love that book. He basically says that tiny improvements don't seem like much at first, but over time, they compound into massive change.
Okay, another example. Famous podcasters like Tim Ferriss or even Joe Rogan, they didn't start with millions of listeners. They started with one episode, then 2, then 10. Small, consistent wins over time.
Exactly. And that's true in any field. Writers start with one blog post. Athletes start with one workout. Musicians start with one song. You don't get to greatness without first stacking small wins.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening right now thinking, all right, I get it. Small wins are great. But how do I actually use them to reach my goals?
Great question. Step 1. Get super clear on your goal, and then break it down into tiny steps. Like, if you want to write a book, don't think about 300 pages. Just aim for 100 words a day.
Ooh, I love that. And step 2, track your progress. Even if it's something simple, like checking off a habit tracker, seeing your wins visually makes a huge difference. Yes, and step 3, celebrate. Seriously, give yourself credit for the progress you're making, no matter how small. Yes, so important. I used to think, oh, I'll celebrate after I reach the big goal. But no, you've got to celebrate the small wins too.
100%. Because when you do, you're reinforcing the habit and keeping yourself motivated.
All right, so let's wrap it up with some key takeaways.
Number 1, small wins matter. They boost motivation, confidence, and momentum.
Number 2, consistency beats intensity. Show up every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes.
Number 3, break big goals into tiny steps and track your progress.
And number 4, celebrate your wins. Because every small step forward is a step closer to your dream.
Love it. Okay, before we go, listener challenge time.
Yes, this week, we want you to pick one goal and break it down into a tiny step. Just one, and then do it.
And tell us about it. DM us, comment, or tag us on social media. We want to hear your wins, no matter how small.
All right, folks, that's a wrap. If you loved this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs a little motivation.
Until next time, keep stacking those small wins and designing the life you love. Bye!